Welcome to our fifth and final lesson in this topic of sequence and series. We have looked at the whole part of sequence, and in the previous lesson, we looked at arithmetic series or progression. So today, we are going to look at geometric series or geometric progression, which is symbolized as GP, geometric progression. Just as in the previous case of arithmetic progression, the most important thing here is knowing the general formula. I may not take you through how to derive the general formula, but we are going to look at the general formula, the finished product, and how to apply it in our case. So for geometric progression, unlike arithmetic progression, we have two formulas, but they are very closely related. It depends on the common ratio, because you remember in a geometric progression, we have common ratio and not common difference. So the sum of n terms is given by a r raised to power n, then you subtract 1, then r minus 1. Remember, this minus 1 is not in the power. So r is just power n. There is no, minus 1 is not in the power. When you do r minus 1, the answer you get from the calculator, then you subtract 1. This formula is used when r is greater than 1. Remember, we had said r does not have to be a whole number. It can be a fraction. Sometimes a fraction which is less than 1. So when r is greater than 1, then this is the formula to use. When r is less than 1, you just change the formula a bit. It's the same, but we just interchange. Why do we interchange? So that we don't get a negative. Just making sure we have a positive that we are working with. That does not mean that the sum cannot be a negative. It can be a negative, depending on the terms that are there. So still a is outside the bracket, but now instead of starting with r raised to power n, we start with 1. So we just interchange. We start with 1. And then also in the denominator, instead of starting with r, we start with 1. So 1 minus r. This one is where r is less than 1. Just to make sure that we have something that is workable. And the values here, especially the denominator, is not a negative. So with this, you can be able to work out NA. So the most important thing is to be able to look at a question and know if R is 1 or is greater than 1 or less than 1. Then you know which formula to apply. Let's look at two examples to give us both scenarios. Let's look at this. Assuming that is a progression, you can look at it. It is actually geometric. What is R? R is second term over the first term, or third divided by second. So it is going to be 3. So 3 divided by 1. So you can see that in our case here, R is more than 1. And the question is, find the sum of the first 10 terms. 10, now in that case, is your n. So the formula is the first one here. So we apply it. So S10 is equals to, in this case, A, which is 1, multiplied by R, which is 3, raised to power 10, then we subtract 1, divide by R, which is 3 minus 1. The best thing here is to work out with a calculator and start by working out what is in the brackets. So take your calculator, key in 3 raised to power 10, then put equals. Before you press the AC button, then subtract 1. Put equals again. If this number was not 1, you would have multiplied with the number. If it was 3, for example, you'd have multiplied by 3. But now it's 1. It does not make any difference. Then the answer you get here, you divide by 2, because 3 minus 1 is 2. When you do that, you will get a number which is 29,524. So that is the sum of the first 10 terms. You can see it's a big one because it's geometric. The number continues increasing by a factor of 3 as we move on. As we had used in the previous example, let's interchange this. So if the progression is this way, R here is now different. It is not 3. It's going to be 3 divided by 9, which is a third. So R is a third. So if R is a third, we are going to use the second formula, not the first one, because the second one is where R is less than 1. So let's get also the sum of the first 8 terms in this one. Find sum of the first 8 terms. That 8 now becomes your n. So we want to get S8. So S8, sum of the first 8 terms. So our A is 9 in the formula. Then we do 1 minus a third. Please put brackets, power 8. Then 1 minus a third. So here again, you can start by working out a third power 8 and put the third in brackets. Because if you don't, you just be raising 1 power 8 divided by 3. That will just give you a funny answer. So put a third in brackets in the calculator. Then raise it to power 8. Put equals. Don't put press the AC or the on button. Then do 1 minus A and S minus answer. Then put equals again. Times 9. The answer you get, divide by 2/3, because 1 minus a third is 2/3. Divide by 2/3 and you will get an answer. Check your answer, the one you're going to get. You should get something like 13 and 121 over 243. You can also get that one in decimals, which will be 13.498. So that will be the sum of the first 8 terms in this particular progression. So that's how you apply both formulas. When R is greater than 1, you apply the first formula. When R is less than 1, you apply the second one. So you can also be told to get anything else from that formula. You can be given the sum, then you get A. You can also be given the sum and everything else, including N, you get R. So having known the formula, you can be able to use it in any way, depending on which area the question requires you to get. So practice more. For the whole of this topic, I have been repeating almost in every lesson, practice. So the essence of understanding this topic is practicing. I have taken you through the skeletons, the formulas, and maybe 1 or 2 examples. So what will make you understand this and know how to use these formulas is your effort in practicing. So practice more and you will become perfect. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.